Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English in Fluency. I am so happy to see you here again. I am Alex, your host, and today we have something very special for your ears. We are going to dive deep into the world of casual English. You know, sometimes you study the grammar books. You learn the perfect rules. You know exactly how to write a beautiful essay. But then you go to a coffee shop or turn on a movie, and suddenly it feels like people are speaking a completely different language. Does that sound familiar to you? It is a very common feeling. You hear sounds blending together, words disappearing, and strange new words popping up that you have never seen in a textbook. Well, today that is going to change. We are going to practice listening to real, relaxed, conversational English. The kind of English that friends use when they are just hanging out and having a good time. We are not going to focus on perfect grammar today. Instead, we are going to focus on understanding the flow, the rhythm, and the feelings behind the words. To help us with this, I want you to imagine a scene. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a bright, sunny Saturday morning in a small city. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and there is a gentle breeze blowing through the trees. In the center of this town, there is a popular little cafe called the Sweet Spot. It is a cozy place with wooden tables, the smell of fresh coffee in the air, and the sound of quiet chatter. This is where our story takes place. We are going to follow two friends, Julian and Chloe, who have met here to catch up and plan their weekend. They are very relaxed, they are comfortable with each other, and they are speaking exactly like native speakers do when they are not trying to be formal. As we listen to them, I will be right here with you to pause, explain, and help you understand every little detail of what they are saying. So, let's step inside the cafe, take a seat at a small table near the window, and listen to Julian as he arrives and greets Chloe. You can hear the little bell above the door ring as Julian walks in. He sees Chloe sitting at a table, scrolling through her phone. He walks over, pulls out a chair, and sits down with a big smile on his face. He takes a deep breath and says, "Hey, Chloe, how is it going? I am so sorry I am late. I totally lost track of time at home." Now, let's stop right there for a second. Did you hear how he said, "How is it going?" In a textbook, you might learn, "How are you?" But in casual conversation, "How is it going?" or just, "How's it going?" is extremely common. It is a friendly, relaxed way to ask someone about their state of mind or their day. Also, listen to the phrase, "lost track of time." This is a wonderful idiom. It means you were so busy or so focused on something that you did not notice the hours passing by. Julian did not look at his clock, and suddenly he realized he was late. It happens to the best of us. Chloe looks up from her phone, laughs, and replies, "No worries at all, Julian. I have actually only been here for a few minutes myself. I was just checking my emails. How are things with you?" Now, notice Chloe's response. She says, "No worries at all." This is a very typical casual phrase. Instead of saying, "I forgive you for being late," which sounds very serious and formal, she simply says, "No worries." It means, "It is okay, don't worry about it," or "It is not a problem." If you want to sound friendly and easygoing, this is a great phrase to use. She also asks, "How are things with you?" This is another variation of "How are you?" It is slightly broader. She is asking about his life, his job, his mood, everything in general. Julian replies, "Things are good, really good. Actually, I was thinking we could grab a coffee and maybe walk down to the park later. It is such a beautiful day outside. It feels like a waste to stay indoors. Here, Julian uses the phrasal verb, grab a coffee. When you grab something in this context, it means you get it quickly and usually casually. You don't reserve a table for a formal coffee ceremony. You just grab a coffee. It is quick, easy, and relaxed. He also says, it feels like a waste to stay indoors. The word waste here means a poor use of something. The day is beautiful, so staying inside the house would be a bad use of such nice weather. Chloe nods her head and says, I could not agree more. I was actually just looking at the weather app on my phone, and it says the temperature is perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. By the way, did you bring that book I lent you last week? Listen to how she starts her agreement. I could not agree more. This is a strong way to say, I agree with you 100%. If you agree completely with someone, this is a fantastic phrase to use. It sounds much more natural and enthusiastic than just saying, yes, I agree. Then she changes the subject smoothly by saying, by the way, this is the most common way to introduce a new topic in the middle of a conversation. It signals to the other person, I am changing the direction of our talk now. Julian laughs and reaches into his bag. Oh, yes, the book. I almost forgot. Here it is, he says, putting a novel on the table. I finished it last night. To be honest, I stayed up way too late reading it because I could not put it down. Here we have a great phrase for honesty. To be honest. You use this when you are about to say something true that might be a little surprising or personal. It prepares the listener for a sincere statement. And then he says, I could not put it down. When talking about a book, this does not mean he physically couldn't place the book on a table. It means it was so interesting that he didn't want to stop reading it. It was gripping. Chloe looks pleased. That is great to hear. I really loved the ending. So, what did you think of the main character? Did you like him? Julian leans back in his chair thinking, you know, it is funny. At first I found him a bit annoying, but as the story went on, he kind of grew on me. The phrase grew on me is excellent. It means that you started not liking something or someone, but slowly, over time, you started to like them. For example, maybe you listen to a new song and you don't like it, but after hearing it many times, it grows on you. Julian continues, I mean, he made some terrible decisions in the beginning, but his heart was in the right place. When someone's heart is in the right place, it means they have good intentions. Even if they make mistakes, they are trying to do the right thing. They are a good person at their core. Chloe smiles and takes a sip of her water. Exactly. That is how I felt too. So, about the park. Are we thinking of a picnic? I think I have some cheese and crackers at my place we could take. Julian claps his hands together. A picnic sounds perfect. We can stop by the store on the way and get some drinks. I am really craving a cold soda. The word craving is stronger than just wanting. It means you have a strong desire for something, often food or drink. I am craving chocolate means you really, really want to eat chocolate right now. Chloe checks her watch. Okay, let's do it. But first, I need to use the restroom. I will be right back. As Chloe stands up and walks away, let's take a moment to review what we just heard. Notice how fast they spoke? Notice how words like going to often sounded like gonna, or how want to might sound like wanna? This is called connected speech. In casual English, we don't pronounce every word separately. We link them together to make speaking smoother and faster. For example, when Julian said, "What do you think?" it probably sounded more like, "What do you think?" The T at the end of what blends with the Y sound of you. This can be very confusing for learners because it sounds like one long word. But now that you know about it, you can start listening for it. Don't try to hear every single letter. Try to hear the music of the sentence. Listen for the stressed words. Usually, the important words, like the nouns, verbs, and adjectives, are stressed, and the small grammar words like to, at, or it are spoken very quickly and quietly. For example, in the sentence, "I am going to the store," the important words are going and store. The I am, to, and the are small and quick. It sounds like, "I'm going to the store." Understanding this rhythm is the key to understanding casual English. You do not need to hear every tiny sound perfectly. You just need to catch the main ideas. Let's listen to another part of their conversation as they leave the cafe. Chloe comes back from the restroom, and they both stand up to leave. Julian asks, "So, did you want to drive or should we walk? It is not that far, maybe a 20-minute walk." Chloe thinks for a second. "Let's walk. I have been sitting at a desk all week, so it would be nice to stretch my legs." To stretch your legs is a very common idiom. It doesn't mean you are physically stretching your muscles like a gymnast. It means you need to walk around after sitting for a long time to feel comfortable again. Julian nods and holds the door open for her. "Good call. Walking is much nicer anyway. We can look at the shops along the way." As they walk out onto the street, the noise of the city surrounds them. Cars are driving by, people are talking, and a bus goes past in the background. Julian shouts a little over the noise, "It is so busy today. I guess everyone has the same idea as us." Chloe laughs and ties her hair back. "It seems like it. But look, the sun is still shining, so I am not complaining." "I am not complaining" is a great phrase to use when things are not perfect. But they are still good. For example, if the restaurant is crowded but the food is delicious, you can say, "It is busy, but I am not complaining because the food is great." They walk down the sidewalk, passing a clothing store. Chloe stops and looks at a dress in the window. "Oh, that is cute. Do you think that would look good on me?" Julian stops and looks. "Yeah, actually, that color is totally your style. You should try it on." Totally your style means it matches your personality and the way you usually dress. It is a very casual way to give a compliment. Chloe shakes her head. "Maybe next time. I am trying to save money for my vacation next month." "Good point," Julian says. "Vacations are expensive. But hey, you only live once, right?" This is a famous saying in English. You only live once, often shortened to YOLO. It means you should enjoy life and take risks because life is short. Chloe laughs. "True, but I also need to pay my rent. Come on, let's get to the park before all the good spots are taken." As they continue walking, the conversation shifts to a more serious topic, but they keep the tone light and friendly. Julian asks, "So, have you heard from Mike recently? I heard he got a new job." Chloe sighs a little. "Yeah, we spoke a few days ago. He is really stressed out about it, to be honest. It is a big responsibility." Stressed out is a phrasal verb that means feeling very worried or anxious. When you have too much pressure, you are stressed out. Julian looks concerned. "That is tough. But Mike is smart. I am sure he will figure it out. To figure it out means to find the solution to a problem or to understand something that is confusing. Chloe nods. I hope so. He really needs a break. He has been working non-stop for months. Non-stop means without stopping. It emphasizes how busy he has been. Now, notice how they moved from talking about a dress, a very light topic, to talking about their friend's stressful job, a heavier topic. In casual conversation, we do this all the time. We hop from topic to topic. It is like a river flowing. Sometimes it is calm and shallow. Sometimes it gets deep and fast. To follow along, you just need to listen for the changes. Usually, someone will use a phrase like, by the way, or speaking of which, or just ask a question to change the direction. In this case, Julian just asked a question. Have you heard from Mike? This signaled the change. Let's listen to them arrive at the park. They walk through a large gate and see a big green lawn with trees everywhere. There are families playing, dogs running, and people lying on the grass. Julian takes a deep breath. Ah, smell that air. That is what I am talking about. That is what I am talking about. Is an expression used when something is exactly what you wanted or expected. It is a way of showing satisfaction. For example, if you are hungry and you see a delicious pizza, you can point at it and say, "Now, that is what I am talking about." Chloe smiles and finds a spot under a large oak tree. This looks perfect. Let's set up here. They take a blanket out of Chloe's bag and spread it on the grass. Sitting down, Julian opens the bag of snacks they bought at the store. Okay, so I have chips, I have some fruit, and I got us those sodas I wanted. Chloe unpacks the cheese and crackers. This is great. Honestly, I needed this. Just to relax and not think about work for a few hours. Honestly is a word we use a lot in spoken English to emphasize that we are telling the truth. It is very similar to be honest. It adds a personal touch to what you are saying. Julian crunches on a chip. Yeah, me too. It is funny how fast the week goes by, isn't it? It feels like Monday was just yesterday. This is a very common feeling. Time flies is another idiom for this. Time seems to move very quickly when we are busy. Chloe leans back on her hands and looks up at the sky through the tree branches. It really does. So, tell me more about this book. What was your favorite part? And just like that, the conversation circles back. They talked about the book at the cafe, and now they are talking about it again. This is also very natural. We often return to topics if we have more to say or if we enjoyed the discussion. Julian gets excited. Okay, so there is this part where the main character finds the old map. That was so cool. The way the author described the forest, I could picture it perfectly in my mind. To picture something in your mind means to imagine it visually. If the description is good, you can see the image in your head like a movie. Chloe nods enthusiastically. Yes, that was my favorite part too. I love books that make you feel like you are actually there. This is a great way to describe immersive experiences. Whether it is a book, a movie, or a video game, if it feels real, you can say, it makes you feel like you are actually there. They spend the next hour just chatting, eating, and watching the world go by. They talk about their families, their favorite movies, and their dreams for the future. Notice that they don't need a strict agenda. They are just enjoying each other's company. This is the essence of casual conversation. It is not about exchanging important information. It is about building a connection. Later on, as the sun starts to dip lower in the sky, the air gets a little cooler. Chloe rubs her arms. It is getting a bit chilly, isn't it? Chilly is a great word for B1 learners. It means cold, but in a way that is slightly unpleasant. It is not freezing like winter, but it is cool enough to make you shiver. Julian checks his watch. It is getting late. Maybe we should head back? To head back is a very common phrasal verb for returning to a place. It is more casual than return home. You can head back to the office, head back to the car, or head back to the cafe. Chloe agrees. Yeah, good idea. I have to get up early tomorrow for a meeting. They start packing up their things, folding the blanket, and throwing away their trash. As they stand up, Julian stretches. Thanks for coming out with me, Chloe. I really needed to clear my head. To clear your head means to remove stress or confusion, to think more clearly after being busy or worried. A walk, fresh air, or a good conversation can help you clear your head. Chloe smiles as they start walking back towards the city center. Anytime, Julian. It was lovely. We should definitely do this again soon. Maybe next week? Definitely, Julian says. How about we try that new Italian place on Tuesday? Sounds like a plan, Chloe replies. The weekend passes in a blur of relaxation, and suddenly it is Tuesday evening. The sun has set, and the city lights are twinkling. We find ourselves outside a bustling Italian restaurant in the city center. It is a popular spot, filled with the delicious aroma of garlic bread and tomato sauce. Inside, it is warm and noisy, a stark contrast to the quiet park they visited on Saturday. Julian and Chloe are already seated at a table, looking at their menus. But tonight, they are not alone. They have invited 2 more friends to join them. This changes everything. When you have a group of friends, the conversation becomes faster, louder, and much more dynamic. The door opens and Ben walks in. Ben is a tall, energetic guy who is always smiling. He spots the table and waves enthusiastically. He walks over and gives Julian and Chloe a quick hug. Hey guys, sorry I am a bit late. Traffic was absolutely crazy coming out of the city center. Notice the word guys. In casual American English, you guys, or just guys, is the standard way to address a group of people, even if the group includes women. It is gender neutral in this context. Also, listen to the word crazy. Here, Ben doesn't mean mentally unstable. He means chaotic or very busy. Traffic was crazy means there were too many cars and it was very slow. Julian laughs and stands up to shake Ben's hand. No problem, Ben. We only just sat down. How was your day? Ben sits down and sighs dramatically. Oh, it was a long one. I had back-to-back meetings from 9 in the morning until 5. My brain is fried. Back-to-back means one after another without a break. And my brain is fried is a fantastic slang expression. It means you are extremely tired, usually from thinking too much or working too hard. It feels like your brain has been cooked. Chloe smiles sympathetically. I hate days like that. You definitely need a big plate of pasta tonight. Just then, Mia rushes in. She is carrying a bag and looks a bit flustered. Hi, everyone. I am here. I am here. Did I miss anything? Flustered means agitated or confused because you are in a hurry or stressed out. Mia sits down and takes a deep breath. I couldn't find my keys this morning, and then the bus was late. It has been one of those days, you know? The phrase, one of those days, is very common. It means a day where everything goes wrong. It is a way of complaining without being too negative, because you are acknowledging that bad days happen to everyone. Julian passes her a menu. Don't worry, Mia. You haven't missed anything. We haven't even ordered yet. Have a look at this menu. Everything looks amazing. As they all look at the menu, the conversation starts to flow in different directions. This is where it gets interesting. In a group, you don't always have one person speaking at a time. Ben points at the menu. I am thinking of getting the lasagna. It sounds huge, though. Look at this picture. Mia leans over to look. Oh, that looks delicious. But I think I might go for a salad. I am trying to eat a bit healthier these days. The phrase, these days, is useful for talking about your current habits or trends in your life that are different from the past. I am running a lot these days means it is a current habit. Chloe jumps in. A salad? At an Italian restaurant? Come on, Mia, you have to live a little. Get the pizza. Here, Chloe is gently teasing her friend. Live a little is an idiom that means you ought enjoy yourself and not worry too much about rules, like being on a diet. Mia laughs. You are a bad influence, Chloe. Okay, maybe I will split a pizza with someone. To split, something means to share it and divide the cost. Let's split the bill is a very common phrase at the end of a meal. Julian nods. I am happy to split a pizza if you want. I was looking at the margarita pizza anyway. Suddenly, the waiter comes over to take their order. They place their orders, and once the waiter leaves, the real conversation begins. This is a great opportunity to practice listening for different voices. Ben, Julian, Chloe, and Mia all have slightly different ways of speaking. Ben is very loud and expressive. Mia speaks quickly. Chloe is calm and sarcastic. Julian is thoughtful. Learning to recognize who is speaking is a big part of following the story. Ben leans forward on the table. So, did you guys hear about Sarah? She is moving to Spain next month. Everyone looks shocked. Chloe says, Shut up. Are you serious? Why didn't she tell me? Now be careful here. When Chloe says, shut up, she is not being rude. In casual, excited slang, shut up is an expression of disbelief. It is the same as saying, no way, or I don't believe it. It shows she is surprised. Ben laughs. I am serious. She just told me this morning. She got a job offer in Madrid, and she couldn't say no. Mia looks happy for her. That is amazing. She has always wanted to live abroad. I am so jealous. Jealous means you want what someone else has. It can be negative, but here it is playful. She is happy for Sarah, but wishes she could go too. Julian takes a sip of his water. It is going to be weird without her here, though. We will have to visit her. Imagine a weekend trip to Madrid. Imagine is a great word to use when suggesting a future plan. It paints a picture in everyone's mind. Imagine if we won the lottery. Or imagine how much fun that would be. It gets people excited. Chloe nods. Absolutely. We should start planning it. But wait, Ben, you said she is moving next month? That is so soon. Yeah, Ben replies. She has to sell her car and pack up her apartment. She is super stressed. Super stressed is an intensifier. It is stronger than just stressed. You can also say super tired, super happy, or super busy. It is very common in spoken English. Their food arrives, interrupting the conversation for a moment, as everyone says, yum, and thank you. As they start eating, Mia brings up a new topic. By the way, speaking of traveling, have you seen the photos from Tom's trip to Japan? He posted them on social media yesterday. Speaking of is the classic phrase to change a topic. Since they were talking about Sarah moving to Spain, traveling, Mia uses speaking of traveling to switch to Tom's trip. Julian shakes his head. No, I haven't seen them yet. Are they good? Mia pulls out her phone. They are incredible. Look at this temple. It is so peaceful. I want to go there so badly. So badly is a way to emphasize a desire. I want it so badly. They all look at the photos on the phone, passing it around the table. This is a very common social scene. When you look at photos together, the language is usually short and reactive. Words like, wow, look at that, amazing, and beautiful are used frequently. Then Ben says something interesting. You know, Tom is a really good photographer. He has a great eye for detail. To have an eye for detail means to be very good at noticing small things that other people miss. It is a compliment for artists, photographers, and designers. Chloe agrees. He does. I remember when we were in college, he always had his camera with him. He was obsessed. Obsessed means you are interested in something to an extreme degree. As the meal continues, the conversation gets a bit faster. They start telling stories about college. Because they all share the same history, they use a lot of specific vocabulary that only they understand, but we can still follow the emotions. They are laughing, remembering funny moments. Suddenly, Ben tells a story. Do you remember that time we went to the beach and it rained the whole weekend? Everyone groans and laughs. Mia says, oh my God, don't remind me. We were stuck in that tiny tent for 2 days. Stuck means you cannot move or leave a place. If you are in traffic, you are stuck in traffic. If you are in a tent, you are stuck in the tent. Ben continues, and we tried to cook beans on that tiny camping stove, but it wouldn't light. Julian laughs so hard he almost chokes on his pizza. I remember. We ended up eating cold beans out of a can. It was a disaster. Ended up is a crucial phrasal verb for storytelling. It means the final result of a situation, often when the result was not planned. You might plan to go to a movie, but end up going to a party instead. In this case, they planned to cook a hot meal, but they ended up eating cold beans. Chloe wipes a tear from her eye. It was awful at a time, but now it is a funny memory. That is just how life goes, right? That is just how life goes is a philosophical phrase. It means sometimes things go wrong, and that is normal. Listening to stories like this is a great way to learn. Notice how they ask, do you remember? To start the story. Then they describe the setting, the problem, the rain, the stove, and the result, cold beans. They use past tense verbs, of course, but they also use lots of filler words like you know, like, and oh my God to keep the story engaging. These words don't add much meaning, but they add flavor and rhythm. For example, Ben said, it was like the worst weekend ever. The word like here just gives him time to think. It is very common in modern English, especially with younger people, though many people use it without realizing it. Let's listen to them finish their meal. The plates are empty, and they are all full. Ben leans back and unbuttons the top button of his jeans. I am stuffed. That pizza was amazing. Stuffed is a casual word for very full. It is like you are a turkey that has been stuffed for dinner. You are completely full of food. Mia nods. Me too. I can't eat another bite. Julian looks at the waiter and catches his eye to signal for the bill. So, are we ready to head out? To head out is another way of saying to leave or to go out. It is very casual. Let's head out means let's go now. Chloe looks at her phone. I have to get going too. I have an early start tomorrow. Ben grins. Same here. This has been really great, guys. We should do this more often. Mia stands up and puts on her coat. Definitely. Next time, maybe we can come to my place? I can cook something. That sounds like a plan, Julian says, picking up the bill. I've got this one. You guys can get the next one. This is a polite way to handle paying. Julian pays today, and next time someone else will pay. It is a friendly system. They all say their goodbyes, hugging and promising to text each other later. As they leave the restaurant and walk out onto the street, the cool night air hits them. Julian turns to the group. All right, I am going this way. See you later, everyone. Ben waves. See ya. Take care, man. Take care is a very common casual goodbye. It is warmer than just goodbye. It means take care of yourself. Chloe and Mia start walking in the other direction. As they walk, Mia asks Chloe, So, honestly, what did you think of the restaurant? This is a way to get a private opinion after a group event. Chloe replies, The food was good, but it was a bit noisy. I prefer the place we went to last month. A bit noisy is a polite way to complain. A bit softens the negative adjective. After the dinner at the restaurant, let's follow Julian as he makes his way home. The city is quieter now. The streets are lit by orange street lamps, and the stars are peeking through the clouds. Julian puts his headphones in and calls his brother, who lives in a different city. This is a very common situation. Talking on the phone. Phone conversations can be tricky because you cannot see the other person's face or their gestures. You have to rely entirely on your ears. Let's listen to how Julian speaks to his brother. It is a bit different from speaking to his friends. It is intimate and relaxed. His phone rings, and his brother, named Sam, picks up. Hey, Julian, how is it going? I wasn't expecting to hear from you tonight. Julian smiles. Hey, Sam. Yeah, I know it is a bit late, but I just had a really fun dinner with the gang and I wanted to catch up. The gang is a casual term for a group of friends. To catch up means to exchange news and information about your lives after you haven't spoken for a while. Sam sounds happy to hear from him. That sounds great. Who was there? Julian walks down his street, kicking a stone gently as he walks. Oh, everyone. Chloe, Ben, and Mia. We went to that new Italian place. It was really good, actually. A bit loud, but the food was excellent. This is a great example of summarizing. Julian is giving Sam the highlights of the evening. He uses actually to give his opinion. It was really good, actually. The word actually is very useful in spoken English. It can be used to correct someone, to give a surprise opinion, or just to add emphasis to a statement. Sam laughs on the other end of the line. I miss those guys. It feels like ages since I saw you all. Ages is a hyperbole. It means a very long time. Julian says, I know. You need to come visit soon. We were actually talking about trips tonight. Sarah is moving to Spain. Can you believe that? Sam sounds shocked. No way. Sarah? Moving to Spain? That is huge news. Right? Julian says. She got a job in Madrid. We are already talking about going to visit her. You should come with us. That would be awesome, Sam replies. I have some vacation time saved up. Let me look at my schedule and get back to you. Get back to you is a standard business and casual phrase meaning, I will contact you later with an answer. Julian nods, even though Sam can't see him. Yeah, do that. It would be just like old times. Just like old times is a nostalgic phrase. It means doing something now that you used to do in the past, bringing back memories. As the conversation winds down, they say their goodbyes. All right, Sam, I am almost home. I will talk to you later, okay? Sounds good, Jules. Take care. You too. Bye. Julian hangs up the phone and unlocks his front door. He walks inside, hangs up his coat, and sits on his sofa. He is tired but happy. He thinks about the evening. This moment of reflection is important for language learners, too. After you listen to a conversation or watch a video, take a moment to think. What was the main topic? What new words did I hear? How were the people feeling? Julian picks up his journal and decides to write a little bit about his day. Writing is a great way to reinforce listening. If you can write down what you heard, it means you truly understood it. He writes, "Today was a good day. I had a nice walk in the park with Chloe and a fun dinner with the guys. It is crazy how fast Sarah is moving. I am happy for her, but I will miss her." He pauses and thinks about the phrasal verbs he used today. Catch up, head out, split the bill, run into. Run into is another one he remembers, meaning to meet someone by accident. He realizes that these small words are the glue that holds casual English together. Now, let's step back from the story and talk directly about you, the learner. How can you use the experiences of Julian and his friends to improve your own English? First, don't be afraid of speed. We heard Ben and Mia speaking very quickly at the restaurant. If you panic when you hear speed, your brain blocks. You need to stay calm. If you miss a word, let it go. Focus on the words you do know. Context is your best friend. If you are in a restaurant and someone says, "I want the mumbled word," you can guess they are talking about food. You don't need to hear the word clearly to understand the meaning. Secondly, pay attention to tone and intonation. When Chloe said, "Shut up," her tone was high and excited. If she had said it in a low, angry voice, it would have been an insult. Understanding how something is said is just as important as understanding what is said. Also, listen for the music of the sentence. Remember, we talked about stress? Native speakers stress the important words. If you only hear the stressed words, you can usually understand the sentence. For example, if you hear, "I going, store, tomorrow," you can fill in the gaps. I am going to the store tomorrow. Your brain is smart. Trust it to fill in the blanks. Another tip is to mimic what you hear. This is called shadowing. When you hear Julian say, "I am going to grab a coffee," try to say it exactly the same way at the same time. I'm going to grab a coffee. Move your mouth the same way. This helps your muscles get used to the sounds of English. It makes speaking easier, which in turn makes listening easier because you know what the words should sound like. Don't just listen with your ears. Listen with your mouth and your body. We also learned a lot about social nuances today. We learned how to apologize casually, "No worries," how to agree strongly, "I couldn't agree more," how to express sympathy, "My brain is fried," and how to suggest plans, "How about we?" These phrases are tools. They are tools that you can take out of your pocket and use in your own conversations. The next time you are talking to a friend in English, try using one. Instead of saying, "I agree," try saying, "Totally." Instead of, "I am very tired," try, "I am beat," or "I am exhausted." It makes you sound more natural and more like a native speaker. Let's do a quick recap of the key vocabulary and phrases we encountered across all three parts. From the park, we had lose track of time, no worries, grab a coffee, grow on me, and heart is in the right place. From the restaurant and the group dinner, we had back-to-back, brain is fried, one of those days, live a little, split the bill, have an eye for detail, end up, stuffed, and head out. And from the phone call, we had the gang, catch up, ages, get back to you, and just like old times. These are high-frequency phrases. If you learn these, you will hear them everywhere in movies, TV shows, and real life. Understanding casual English is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, like the practice we did today, you will get better and better. You will start to notice that the mumbling you used to hear is actually just connected speech. You will start to recognize the idioms instantly. You will feel more confident joining in conversations with native speakers. Imagine yourself sitting at that table with Julian, Chloe, Ben, and Mia. You are laughing, you are joking, and you understand every word. That is the goal. And you are closer to it than you were at the start of this video. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed the story of the friends in the city. I hope you felt the sunshine in the park and the warmth of the restaurant. Learning a language should be an emotional experience. It should connect you to people and to stories. If you enjoyed this video and you want to continue improving your fluency, please make sure to subscribe to English in Fluency and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. We have many more stories, conversations, and tips coming your way. Don't forget to leave a comment below and tell me which character you liked the best. Was it the thoughtful Julian, the calm Chloe, the energetic Ben, or the busy Mia? Or maybe you liked the friend who moved away, Sarah. Let me know in the comments. Practicing your writing by leaving a comment is another great way to use the English you have learned today. Tell me about a time you met friends for dinner or went to a park. I would love to read your stories. Remember, every time you listen, you are training your brain. Every time you speak, you are training your mouth. Keep going, keep practicing, and stay fluent. I am Alex, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.